Hey there, Goa fans. This is Mark, DJ Solitaire, here with episode 115 of Retro Goa Explorations, my weekly series in which I present in every episode one of my favorite tracks from the 1990s Goa Trance psychedelic dance movement. And we are in the 97 to 98 season, and what a time it was. And this event, where I first heard this track, was one of the mother of all events of its kind. There's a whole lot of different kinds of course, the energy around events in terms of size and atmosphere and so on. And this is a really special one. And I've actually told the story of when I first heard the track without talking about the track, because I wanted to illustrate a point of how what's going on for the performer has an impact on how the music gets heard and how we could recognize a key signature of artists, often not just from the music, but just from the atmosphere. So I've actually told this story, but now I finally get to reveal the track and tell the story in a bit more detail. So in July 1998, the Equinox Party organization, who was throwing really Goa style parties, they were trained by Ray Castle in a lot of different elements of preparing these events. And Cooney was the main DJ at a lot of those parties that I went to in 95 and 96. I've talked about some of those events before. So in 98, in July, they threw a massive event, and it was an all-star lineup. It was called the Strong Sun Moon Festival. There was Juno Reactor. There was, I think it was Coxbox. I remember Juno Reactor in the morning, and in fact, there was some film footage of the crowd dancing at the event in the morning, and I remember that one very clearly. We were all feeling the universe. It was just a spectacular setting. An incredible artist, Avikal, did these unbelievable string decorations that he would historically also do for quite a while for Antares. And I mean, you can just see it looks like a completely other world, both in daytime and nighttime. And so, this was a massive scale, massive event, which just requires incredible artistic vision and logistics. And it was memorable. Of course, the memories of some moments are clearer than others, but this one is extremely clear. So on the first night that I was there, again, I'm not sure if it's, if we're talking Friday night, Saturday night, I can't remember exactly. It was a separate, there was just a few days for the festival. It was already, I think the 7-day festivals were not a thing back then, but that's another story. In any case, I was hanging out with my friend Dave Dobson, who ran the Hikari clothing store. Now, Dave is the one who first organized that Space Tribe party that I went to, my very first event that really blew me away. And he started his own clothing company, Hikari, with some fantastic designs as well. And he and his wife, Chiemi, were running a clothing stall in the marketplace. So I was with him. It was just before sunset on what I guess the first main night. I think it was the Saturday. And just music just started playing, and he and I both looked at each other and said, "This is Tsuyoshi." And we listened a bit more, and it's like it's not Tsuyoshi's music, but this is Tsuyoshi. And I mean, it was just there was something in the energy that we could feel. And so David just packed up his shop. He's like, "I'm going to the dance floor." Tsuyoshi was supposed to be playing in the middle of the night, but this is clearly him. We need to go to the dance floor. So everything got packed up. We went to the dance floor. Sure enough, Tsuyoshi is behind the decks. And if the story that I later heard is accurate, it totally fits with what was going on and the music. They had done a last minute change to the lineup in terms of the scheduling. He thought he was playing at night, and in fact, he was playing, at dusk, right before sunset, and wasn't happy about it. And so on comes this track that rips through the fabric of time and space and has a sample that includes the word anger. And it was something that nobody else had. This was something that Tsuyoshi used to do. He would start his sets with a track that either nobody else had or very few people did. That's something I always like to do as well. It was something I picked up at the time, and this was one of those memorable occasions. But what struck me is it was not music that he created. This was music that he had gotten from an artist and was playing it, but his energy was absolutely discernible. So this track is called Pacemaker. It's by the Groupie Syndrome, but that's a one-off name. It's a one-off collaboration between Extreme and Tim Schuldt, an incredible German producer who I can't believe I haven't featured yet. Shame on me, because there actually were a couple of tracks in the previous season that I absolutely loved and I overlooked them. So I'm going to have to go back and do those. But this one, unbelievable. This is just on a whole other musical and energetic and atmospheric plane. Absolutely blew everybody away, and was not available for a little while. Now, in August, a month later, I played at a party that Domino played at, and they unfortunately put a techno DJ between me and her, and it was kind of ruined the flow. But my DAT machine was still running. I forgot to turn it off after recording my set. So it recorded her set and this track was on it, but she mixed out of it in a way that, I wouldn't have been able to use it. But at least at home, I got a chance to, listen to the track again and just over and over and over. And eventually the track came out on the Orinco label. And it's an all-time classic. It's just one of those. I'll be talking about it, as we're listening. There's just so much that's going on musically. It was just, this was this exciting time when the music that was being made was just absolutely pushing the limits of, not just production, of course, musical content and the messaging and the atmosphere and the styles and the stories. And this was just, this is really still just a jaw-dropping, consciousness expanding, exploding perhaps, track. And it still immediately takes me back to that time, to that event, and to hearing it for the first time and just knowing that there's some incredible power in this music. So let's give this a listen. The Groupie Syndrome and their one-off track, Pacemaker. Just notice that pulsing, really like a heartbeat. And this sound, it really is like what I was saying. It just sounds like the fabric of time and space is being shredded. This incredible cyber rock sound at just the one note. That interval. Now the rhythm's going to change. And those notes. Really just piercing through reality to sort of get to the heart of what's going on with this introduction. Pay attention to the vocal sample and how it's run through some effects. I don't understand 100% what he's saying. It sounds like he's naming some negative emotions and saying they're really dumb. But, wow. I noticed the rhythm again here. That non-stop bass line, but that rhythm in the upper riff. Then that melting sound, which is from a perfect fifth down to a diminished fourth, and then down to the tonic, and then back up. I listen to those oscillating bits. What is going on? That interval just shreds. Pattern changes with the notes there. And then it goes down. Again, so now we've got that pumping rhythm without the melodic stuff. Now this comes in. There's that echo. Just those occasional bursts of the guitar coming in the background. Storyline is unbelievable. It's really, I mean, it's cohesive, but you just can't predict what's coming. We're gonna start getting some more vocal style effects a la Delta. And keep in mind, all that Delta stuff was really new. There's that choral stuff, so very as a child and traveling at the speed of thought. Then there's moany, broody pitch bend. This interval here. And the heartbeat. With that other sound, and the sample's gonna come in. Just the tension of that little bounce that's going on with that little harmonic interval. I mean, just from another galaxy. And again, that insistent rhythm. And that voice going up to that upper note and then down. And some really squealy kind of noises in the background as well. Clever break, and then that reality shredding sound. That leap up there, the way that slides seductively down to the main note. This is a really long track. It's getting close to 9 minutes. So there's also a couple of new bits that are going to be coming in. So we got that bouncing bit. Notice the pitch bending with it, together with the chorus. Pay attention, there's some voices. Just getting a basic introduction and they're going to come in more. with this chorus. So that's that kind of Germanic sort of thing where there's just this like one note or two note choral mantra there within a little effect. Space opera. With quite a trill on it there. And now really, again, that's like this cosmic Greek chorus of beings that are just sort of communicating this note together with all of this mayhem. Sample comes in. Last time, and then it's going to start to unwind. Beautiful, beautiful note progression. And then the heartbeat together with some other pulsing. I mean, really, just wow. So you can imagine, right? I mean, what this was like when this was brand new. It might be new to some of you here. I'm sure that the first time you heard this track, you have some recollection of some of the just like WTF is going on. Just incredible, next level. So I've absolutely got it seared in my mind and consciousness and spirit. That particular event where we were on the dance floor, just seeing Tsuyoshi in the distance, it was a really massive space, and being with David and just us, sort of realizing we were right, it is Tsuyoshi, and just dancing away at this and just like, this whole new musical consciousness space. Just really musically, these folks pushing the limits, and folks at the party kind of pushing the limits as well. I got to say, it was really this was a giant collective like reality shift. It just really felt like there was some wild magic going on with the whole musical progression, the whole setting. I mean, it was absolutely next level to have anything like that on this scale. They did come out with a 2 CD compilation that I think a lot of collectors have got, range of music. But this track plus the Juno Reactor set in the morning is what it really got firmly sort of imprinted in my psyche as major highlights from this phenomenal event. So I'm going to leave you to listen to this unbelievably, when I say progressive in the sense of like, pushing the limits, this incredible track, this, setting a new bar of musical content and creativity and storyline. And it's just a rich tapestry of incredible musical bits. So I'm Mark DJ Solitaire, wrapping up episode 115 of Retro Goa Explorations and leaving you now with the Groupie Syndrome, aka Tim Schuldt and Extremes, the masterpiece that they produced, Pacemaker.